Looking southwest into Debden, Saskatchewan, it's Saturday, July 26th and Sunday, July 27th, 2014. Looking south down the northern woods and water route. Big River is off to the north, to the right, about 40k, and Shellbrook is off to the south, about 50k. The corner of Main Street and Highway 55. Debden is sitting on a big formation of undifferentiated glacial till associated with the Sturgeon River off to the east a few miles. There is lots of varying topography in the area, glacial outwashes and stagnant ice moraines. Looking north along the Crooked Lake branch that the Canadian Northern laid through here in 1910, built siding number 4 here. Steel was torn up in 2012, the last elevator in Debden. The first one was Canada West Grain in 1916, and they are stockpiling the steel and selling it by the ton in Debden. That elevator at its core is the 1931 Saskatchewan wheat pool, was rebuilt in 1992 and has the distinction of being the last wooden built elevator that the Saskatchewan pool ever built. It was sold in 2002 into private hands. It wasn't until 1914 that Canadian Northern dropped off a freight passenger shelter at mile 31.2 from Shellbrook, along here somewhere. It was replaced in 1918 by a fourth-class station. It was destroyed in 1983. Land agents recruited the well-known and respected Father Brubé to tell folks in eastern Quebec and Maine that they could get 160 acres of land for $10 in this neighborhood. Now, mind you, it was mainly swamp and better suited to a canoe than a horse, but still, parts of it were arable, and if it was drained, it would make good farmland. Many took the challenge, so La Rose, La Jeunesse, Comtois, Couture, Pelche, and Omar Demers, who opened the post office in his big store on August the 1st, 1912. Why did he name it for a Canadian Northern engineer? The Demers shopping center sits exactly where Omar's big 2-story store stood. Right there. And when Debden incorporated itself as a village on June the 7th, 1922, guess who the first mayor was? Before the railroad arrived in this area, William Cowan of Big River Lumber fame had a little logging operation going here in 1906. It was moved out in 1908. Of course, the old Hudson's Bay Trail runs not too far west of here between Fort Carlton and Green Lake. Debden remembers its French heritage and honors pioneers such as the Sears, the Latiers, the Joyals, Gautiers, Dufresne, La Vertu, Blais, the Bellairs, who opened up a little sawmill in 1916 and really got the town a building. The swamps were being drained and grain was actually being grown in this neighborhood come the 20s. Parents organized school district number 3394 on May 30th, 1914 and had a school up and running by the following September. This modern composite school is a product of school district consolidation over the years. I'm not sure that the Great Northern Fire of 1919 affected the Debden area much. It survived anyway and boomed into the 20s and the 30s, welcoming Dust Bowl refugees from the southern prairies seeking a second chance on the land. Just before the Great Depression really took hold, Canadian Pacific built a line to Meadow Lake from Toby Junction, which had been placed in Canadian National's, what was then Canadian National's Big River branch just north of Debden here. That line was pulled out only 4 or 5 years ago now. The parish of Saint Jean Baptiste was organized in 1912, and a nice tall steepled church had been built by 1918, complete with a rectory, which was around this neighborhood somewhere.
The old school.
At which the Sisters of the Presentation of Mary arrived in 1942 to teach, housing themselves in a convent. Ooh, color rod railing. Nice. The original church burned in 1951, and this edifice was opened in 1954. There is a photograph taken in 1921 from the steeple of the first building, a view eastward up Main Street showing 2 elevators, Demers' 2-story store and a 3-story hotel, about on the location where the hotel is now, which is the 4th hotel in Debden. Hotels burned in 1926, the early 30s, and sometime during the 60s. Especially with the addition of Saskatchewan Pulp Company families, Debden remains a commercial node. It even has an airport. Searle Elevator Company apparently bought the Canadian West grain elevator only to watch it burn in 1926. Come 1931, the North Star grain elevator was in place in Debden along with the new Searle and the Saskatchewan Wheat Pool. Federal closed the North Star elevator in 1978. Saskatchewan Wheat Pool treated the old Searle the same way in 1984, leaving only the original Saskatchewan Wheat Pool building standing.
You off taking pictures?